Have you ever had a moment? A moment that feels untethered from the linear flow of time? It's a feeling of strange familiarity, a whisper from a life you haven't lived, or perhaps one you've lived before, this flicker of déjà vu, so potent and so sudden it stops you in your tracks, making the world around you feel thin, like a projection about to waver. It's more than just a brain glitch. It's a profound and unsettling sensation that for a split second you've seen the script. You know the next line, the next step, and then, as quickly as it came, it's gone, leaving you with a lingering question. What was that? Or perhaps you have looked up, away from the distractions of the everyday, into the vast star-dusted canvas of the night sky. In that silent, sprawling infinity, you felt an overwhelming sense of smallness, a humbling recognition of your tiny place in a cosmos of unimaginable scale. Billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars, spinning in a silent cosmic ballet. But amidst this feeling of insignificance, another thought might arise. A sense of profound order, of intricate design. You begin to wonder if this grand cosmic stage, with its breathtaking beauty and mathematical precision, might be more than it appears. Is it truly random, or is it a meticulously crafted backdrop for our existence? We navigate our days with a set of core assumptions, a foundation of belief that keeps us sane. We walk through our lives assuming the ground beneath our feet is solid, a dependable stage for our dramas. We trust that the air we breathe is real, filling our lungs with life. We believe with all our hearts that the people we love are made of the same fundamental stuff as us, their laughter and tears as tangible as our own. But what if this certainty is just a story we tell ourselves? A comforting narrative woven to shield us from a far more bewildering truth. Our senses, the very tools we use to perceive this world, are notoriously fallible. They present us with a filtered, edited version of reality, a user interface designed for survival, not for perceiving the underlying truth. What if the world we experience is less like a physical place and more like a stream of information? This leads us to the most profound question of all. What if the very fabric of our reality, the intricate dance of atoms that form our bodies and our world, and the unyielding laws of physics that govern every interaction, are not the bedrock of existence? What if, at the most fundamental level, there are no particles, only data, no matter, only mathematics? The discoveries of quantum physics have already shattered our classical intuitions, revealing a world where particles exist in a state of pure potential until observed, where reality itself seems to respond to our consciousness. This suggests that the universe might be fundamentally informational, a system of immense complexity, running a program of unimaginable scope. What if everything we know is not the bedrock of existence, but a carefully constructed illusion, a high-fidelity simulation so perfect, so seamless, that its inhabitants could never even conceive of the possibility that their world isn't real? This question is as old as human thought itself, a persistent whisper in our quiet moments. Ancient philosophers wondered if they were merely figures in a god's dream. Mystics have long spoken of a veil separating our perceived world from a truer reality. It is a profound and unsettling thought that challenges our identity and place in the universe. We trust our senses to report the truth, but our senses can be easily fooled. A dream can feel utterly real until the moment we awaken. So the ultimate question lingers in the cosmic silence. Are we awake? Or are we living inside an incredibly advanced, beautifully rendered dream? The universe, in all its majestic complexity, presents a series of baffling puzzles. It operates on mathematical rules so precise and elegant they seem almost designed. From the perfect spiral of a galaxy to the quantum flutter of a subatomic particle, there is an order, a logic that feels intentional. Is this order a brute fact of nature, a happy accident? One of the most influential voices in this conversation is the Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom. In his seminal 2003 paper, he presented what is now known as the simulation argument. Bostrom doesn't claim that we are definitely in a simulation. If our reality is a construct, a sophisticated simulation, then it might contain telltale signs of its digital nature. Proponents believe they've found such evidence woven into the very fabric of physics. One of the most compelling arguments begins at the smallest possible scale. Our digital world is made of pixels, discrete units creating the illusion of a continuous image. Physics suggests our universe might be similar. There appears to be a fundamental unit of length, the Planck length, below which the concept of distance itself breaks down. Space isn't a smooth, infinite continuum, it's granular. This discreteness is computationally efficient. Why simulate an infinitely divisible reality when a finite grid of points will do, especially if the inhabitants can never perceive the difference? This idea of efficiency finds an even stranger echo in quantum mechanics. The observer effect reveals a universe that behaves differently when we're not looking. Before an observation, a particle exists in a haze of possibilities, a superposition of all its potential states. But the moment it's measured, this probability cloud collapses into a single, definite reality. It's as if the universe doesn't bother to decide what's something until it's forced to. This is strikingly similar to how video games render their worlds. A game engine doesn't draw everything in full detail all the time. It uses tricks like level of detail rendering, only fully processing what's in the player's view. Why waste processing power on something no one can see? In this view, our observation is simply the universe rendering reality for us on demand. Then there's the universe's ultimate speed limit, the speed of light. Nothing, no object, no information, no causal influence can travel faster. This is a fundamental constraint on how the universe operates. In computing, every system has a similar constraint: its processor clock speed, the rate at which it can execute instructions. If our universe is a simulation, the speed of light might not be a property of light itself, but rather the processor speed of the cosmic computer running the show. It's the maximum rate at which the simulation can update its state, the ultimate refresh rate of reality. However, for every piece of suggestive evidence, there is a powerful counter-argument. Many physicists and philosophers dismiss the simulation hypothesis not because it's wrong, but because it may not be a scientific question at all. The core of science is the principle of falsifiability. A theory must make predictions that can be tested and proven false. But how could we ever falsify the simulation hypothesis? Any experiment we design exists the simulation. If we found evidence that seemed to disprove it, a sufficiently advanced simulator could simply alter the rules to keep the illusion intact. It becomes a kind of intellectual trap, a hypothesis that can explain everything and therefore explains nothing. For this reason, many consider it to be more in the realm of metaphysics than physics. Another major hurdle is the sheer scale of the required computation. To simulate our universe with perfect fidelity, tracking the state of every single particle would require a computer of unimaginable power. A computer built from matter within our universe could never hope to contain the information needed to simulate itself. This is known as the problem of recursion. However, proponents have a ready answer. Who says the computer running the simulation has to exist within our universe? The base reality of the simulators could operate under entirely different laws of physics, with computational resources that are, to us, literally unimaginable. The pace of our technological ascent is staggering. In just a few decades, video games have journeyed from the simple back and forth of Pong to the breathtaking, sprawling worlds of Cyberpunk 2077. This isn't just an evolution in graphics, it's a revolution in complexity. With sophisticated physics and AI wrapped in compelling narratives, we are getting exceptionally good at building worlds. Project this trajectory forward. Within decades, we will likely have virtual reality systems utterly indistinguishable from the real world, not just for our eyes and ears, but for all our senses. Imagine full immersion systems using direct neural interfaces, perfectly replicating the feeling of sunlight or the scent of rain. A world built of data, but as real to our consciousness as this one. This isn't a distant sci-fi dream, it's a destination we are accelerating towards. This forces us to confront a profound philosophical question. What is consciousness? Many thinkers now explore substrate independence, the theory that consciousness isn't tied to our biological brains, but can emerge from any sufficiently complex information processing system. If consciousness can arise from pure computation, then a sophisticated simulation could host beings who are genuinely self-aware, their experiences as valid as our own. This mind-bending concept was catapulted into global consciousness by the 1999 film The Matrix. It masterfully blended action with deep philosophy, turning the simulation hypothesis from an academic thought experiment into a cultural phenomenon. It gave us a new language to question the very fabric of our reality. At its heart, the film poses a devastating choice: the red pill or the blue pill. Remain in a comfortable, fabricated reality, or awaken to a harsh but authentic existence. This dilemma cuts to the core of what we value: blissful ignorance or painful truth. It's a question we might all have to face. What would you choose? And what does that say about what it means to truly live? But perhaps the premise is flawed. If an experience generates a genuine emotion, does its origin matter? If you feel profound love inside a simulation, the love itself is not simulated, it is a real emotional event. A simulated act of courage requires real bravery. A simulated loss evokes real grief. The joy, the sorrow, the triumph, these are authentic human experiences regardless of the stimulus. So, if we are living in a simulation, if we are in essence programs, we are not simple automatons. The evidence is all around us. We are programs that can feel, think, and reason. We are programs that can create breathtaking art, compose soul-stirring music, and build tools to peer into the nature of our own existence. Ultimately, we are left in a state of profound and beautiful uncertainty. We look up at the stars, a universe whose physical laws seem exquisitely fine-tuned for life. We look down into the bizarre quantum realm where reality itself seems to shift based on observation. And we are left to ask the greatest question of all: is any of this real? The search for that answer may be the very purpose of our existence.